adventurers, storytellers, welcome to this week's edition of the Worldbuilders Society with Ansel and Maui.
Today's episode was recorded live on twitch.tv/reflectgames on January 13th, 2026. Full video is available on YouTube at youtube.com/@reflectstudios.
So I've been working on session design a lot lately.
Ooh, well then lead the way.
And I'm trying to find here we go. So I just did a dungeon crawl encounter, and really most sessions are just like a series of dungeon crawls if you lay it out right. So I've been using
depending on how broadly you define dungeon.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I've been using the 5-room method a lot lately. Because it's very easy to just kind of so let's say we need entrance, puzzle/role play, setback, climax, and reward. And those are all the things you need to have a full session.
Okay.
So, what's our entrance into the world? What's our strong start? To borrow lazy DM terminology.
Well, I think we've established that the entrance is
Rumspringa.
It's Rumspringa, but we've established that the characters don't know that they're doing that. The choice isn't happening on screen.
Right.
So instead, I think the entrance is waking up in the forest.
Waking up in the forest, yeah.
Is there a challenge immediately, or do we just give them some exposition?
I think that's where they get to describe their characters. Maybe some quick, easy skill checks for them to try and test their abilities. I think we ask some pointed questions what do you want to do, or what are you thinking right now, or what are you feeling right now, and we can have their emotional state affect the area around them, and that's how they realize that they have some measure of control over the things around them magically.
Yeah, I'm here for that. So then what is the puzzle? Is it that we need to solve a puzzle to move from here into the Shadow Realm? I
did a thing a while ago, and this could actually help them start to piece together who they are. I did this thing in this one shot I did for a friend who was moving away, and I did a thing where they didn't remember who they were, and they were in a grove. And there were these trees that had this fruit that kind of looked like pocket watches. And when you ate the fruit, I'd have them roll on a memory table, and it would give them a random memory. And the memory would be a happy memory, a sad memory, nostalgic memory. I had a few different
and prompt them to tell their RP story.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like the idea of giving the player a prompt for something about their own backstory, to discover something that they hadn't pre-thought about, but is still coming from within the player's conception.
Right. Kind of sticking within this theme of this is a character creation exercise.
Mm-hmm. Is it that just in order to solve the puzzle, you must do things that you must eat these fruits or whatever, and the side effect is that as this is happening, you are being prompted with these memories that are flooding to your character over the course of attempting to move from point A to point B, or overcome this challenge, or escape the thing.
I think since it's kind of puzzle / RP, I think it starts with them like finding their memories and stuff, but then maybe some sort of puzzle encounter where they find somebody who's been lost in this Clockwork Grove for a long time and needs help piecing their memories back together. So we have some sort of puzzle around helping somebody piece who they are together, and then they realize, oh, we need to piece together who we are.
Are we happy with that, or do we want to keep cooking on that?
I'm happy with it for now. Maybe we can circle back if as we flower this out, we're like, oh, this needs to change a bit.
Well, or just to make it more, like ready for prime time.
Nothing that I can think about, unless somebody in the chat has any ideas of things that we can use to like flower this out a little bit.
But let's move on while they think about it. To the setback.
So setback would be the child, the Prince of Winter.
Yeah.
So I think once they get through the Clockwork Grove, they get to Petrichoria and find the child, the Winter Child.
So the child does something to them when they arrive, I presume.
Oh yeah. What if everybody in Petrichoria has like been frozen and maybe the child curses them and they start to feel cold, and if they don't figure, like the child's making them like him, and if they don't figure their shit out, then they will freeze too.
Do the frozen people... So thinking back to what we wanted to do originally with this, is it less that they're frozen solid and frozen stiff, but more that they are become the aspect frozen, and so they still walk through their lives and live out their days, but they are unable to continue wanting, or they're unable to change or grow because they have frozen, and they've like crystallized into the way that they are.
Yeah, like they can still move around, but they're crystalline beings. Like movement is hard. Like it's like the Tin Man kind of thing, right? Like a bunch of people like kind of walking around like rictus.
Oh yeah, they move painfully.
They move painfully. And then I think like emotional movement would be just as difficult, right? Climax would be the boss battle. I think the kid becomes the Want, and they have to fight the Want. And I think that you could just like deliver the beat down. Like that is one way. Like I like multiple ways of like defeating the big bad. Like you could deliver the beat down if like that's what you do. But for players that are maybe a bit more emotional, I think that there should be like a way to like to affect the Want emotionally and get through to the Prince of Winter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's actually a really strong call out. Is like something. It's something that we should make a part of the presentation of that conflict. Is that this is? I think the physical attacks are only going to hurt him so much, but the way that you defeat him is by seeing him and then finding ways to warm him or unfreeze him or thaw him, or however you want to phrase that.
There are things that are important to the Prince of Winter that are frozen, and the Prince of Winter's heart is outside of his body and frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get through to his heart and melt it and give it to him like that, like you giving him a piece of himself back.
I'm realizing I've done this exact thing previously, but I don't think that makes it bad.
No, not at all. Like we said, steal from yourselves liberally.
Exactly.
Explain the thing that you did.
I did a sort of love triangle between the Prince of Frost and the Snow Maiden, I think are the names I gave them, where the Snow Maiden fell in love with a mortal, and in order to protect him from the Prince of Frost, she took his heart and hid it deep in a glacier. And so our heroes come upon this glacier that is just blood red across the whole of it, because this still beating heart has been pouring blood into the ice for generations. Yeah, it was dark as hell, but yeah, they quested down into it and they got the guy's heart back and they saved him, and then they got to fight the Prince of Frost.
So that tells me that, going back to part 2, the person they find in the Clockwork Grove is the person that the Prince of Winter was in love with, that has the frozen heart.
Oh, we just want to steal the whole thing? Hell yeah.
Why not?
Right.
Yeah, just like have it connect back to that.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm picking it up. All right.
Yeah, so like they was in love with the Prince of Winter. The Prince of Winter, because the Prince of Winter is a goth weirdo, like said, "Here's my heart, I give it to you." Like literally gave them his heart, and they got lost in the Clockwork Grove and forgot themselves. And with the absence of his love, something that he can no longer have, he lost himself and became the Winter Child.
Yep. Okay. Take his heart back to him.
And maybe we can do clues by having all those people that are Rictus, icicle people. None of them have, like, all of their hearts have been removed, and that's a visual clue. You see, all of them have a hole where their heart should be, and that's a visual clue. Do
we think that, without saying this part, without saying the backstory, that we give the players the heart in the Sunlit Grove, in the Clockwork Grove, and then just sort of hope that they utilize it when the time comes?
Yeah, I think we give them like clue. I think if they can't figure it out, you have the person that was in love with the prince show up and say, like, he needs his heart back. Like, if, like, pull in case of emergency, they can't figure out the thing, have somebody step in and help them out. Anarchy. Yep. So earlier we were saying that because he became so petulant, like, and their emotions can reshape the world and themselves, that the Prince of Winter becomes the Winter Child. He is a literal regression.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would say that's a good way to phrase it. He lost his heart, and his will to grow is a part of that.
Yeah.
So what is our reward? Does solving this turn Petrichoria back to a sunlit land?
Reward: we save Petrichoria. They have completed their Facebringa, and they are free to either rejoin the community or travel the Feylands in search of more adventure if they'd like. And maybe each of them get a special item from the King of Seasons for saving his son.
I have an important question.
Yes.
Why doesn't the King of Seasons save his son his own darn self? is the King of Seasons a literal tree? And therefore cannot? Like, do we want to go that far?
The King of Seasons is not actually an elf. The King of Seasons is the god that created this realm. And he does not actually interfere with the realm. But seeing his son so out of sorts, he is pushing things a little bit to help them happen. Like, if we're saying this is the Fey realm of Galdoria, there's actually a Numidian accord that the gods signed to stay out of the affairs of the physical world when they like created their new realms to like leave for. So potentially, if that's where we're setting this, that's a potential reason.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. And so Ash is but an aspect of this god. The King of Seasons is just an aspect of the god.
Sent to communicate this need. Oh, go home. That's a reward. You get to go back.
Home or go forth.
Love that.
And that's a complete session.
Yeah, it really, really is.
Yeah, I've really been loving using that as a framework for things. It makes it so easy then to just like write out my session materials when I break it down to those 5 things.
Mm-hmm. And it's nice that it kind of stands on the 3 stools of RP too, of TTRPGs rather.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've got the RP, we've got puzzle, and we've got combat. You know, those are sort of important elements of the experience of a TTRPG.
Yep.
So I like that they're sort of built in there in this frame. That's a cool way to do it.
Yeah. I was just actually thinking, like, you know, if we can put together, like, here are the people that inspire us and, like, the methodologies that we have found that help us as DMs, we could, like, make, like, a little resource page. You know, like, for me personally, Mystic Arts, I don't know if you have seen his page, Dottie, he's, like, Icelandic, I believe.
I do not know.
Does really good stuff. Lazy DM, Sly Flourish.
Yep, I know them.
Yeah, Mike Shea, fucking awesome. Dungeon Dudes, I love Dungeon Dudes stuff. When I got back into D&D, I watched a lot of Dungeon Dudes. So yeah, there we go. We did it.
We did it. I guess the last thing to decide is what system do we want to run this in? And I have a suggestion.
Sure.
I think this screams to be a Fate game.
Okay.
Because, you know, it's less about like, I, the DM, have predefined who your character is, and you're discovering that. And more, you are manifesting the aspects, as they call it in Fate, that define who your character is. And then you can invest in changing those aspects or manifesting the effects of those aspects throughout the gameplay from that point forward.
Okay. I'm totally cool with that.
I'm open to other thoughts, but it was just like, it's right there.
Well, I was going to say, like, you know, it feels like we lead pretty heavily into like D&D high fantasy stuff, but I love the idea of like, doing something outside of D&D, so I think Fate sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Specifically, I think Fate Accelerated would do really nicely, just because it's even fewer things for our players to have to worry about.
It'd probably be pretty easy to give them their stats throughout the adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's something there. Okay, great. So in the Fate system.
All right, I am going to grab an image of that and put it in there. There we go. Boom. We did it, Joe.
I'm so proud of us.
Oh no, not funky Fate dice, LOL.
It's okay, you can just use D6s.
Yeah.
That said, I did buy Fate dice, and I have yet to use them because I immediately started running games online.
So, let's do like a quick little post-mortem. What did you think of doing our system today, Ansel?
I think doing it live is a really cool way to do this. I think I'm very much in favor of doing this live again. If it's not always our way, it should at least be sometimes our way. Because yeah, having the chat there is really nice. Yeah, I'm aside from that, it's always delightful to get to hang out and cook with you. So
right, yeah, I have so much
always
fun.
Down for that.
I had so much fun doing this with you, my friend. That was like so much fun. Cool. I think that's
How
it.
about you? How did you enjoy doing it this
You
week?
know what? I wish that my throat didn't hurt as much as it does, but I had such a fun time. And like you said, like I just have so much fun like cooking with you, you know, and I feel like we just have a good like conversational rhythm. It was just really fun just kind of hanging out with and talking with you, and yes-anding ideas with you. So yeah, I just really enjoy that. And also, I think this is a really fun and original kind of like Fae realm. Like, you know, it's got some really fun, funky shit in there that makes it a bit unique. And that's always fun when you can make something familiar feel new. Yeah,
there's some tasty business in here. That's yeah. I think well worth stealing for other applications. Yeah.
So the next step will be to run a one-shot of this. Thank you for hanging out with us. We had so many people commenting today, which really meant a lot. This was so much fun.
Makes it so much easier. Yeah.
We need a good sign-off.
Well, I mean, if we want, there is a line that I'm particularly proud of that I threw onto our page. There is no end to the worlds we have not seen. The Worldbuilders Society is a co-production of Indecisionist Productions and Reflect Games. Find The Indecisionist on all of these social media platforms I can be bothered to be on, and check out some of my other amazing podcasts and TTRPG Pickup Con, a free monthly event going on at ttrpgpickupcon.com. Find Maui at Reflect Games, and check out the weekly live streams and incredible gaming content at Reflect Games on twitch.tv/reflectgames. Find out more about the Worldbuilders Society at indecisionist.com/worldbuilders.